Well, hi there, vinyl community. Elliot here, Lazy Dogs Records, and I'm here to talk to you about a reissue that I'm really excited about. It's Kenny Baker's Country album, and Kenny Baker is, if you're not familiar with him, is one of the great violinists, fiddlers, if you will, in the realm of bluegrass music. This is a fiddle album that originally came out in the mid 1970s. There are a few copies that you can find in the wild. I went on Discogs. I think there were like 8 or so copies in the U.S. available. But County Records has chosen to reissue this, repress and reissue this album. They did it in late 2023. And I was real excited about that. I pre-ordered it and got a copy directly from County Records. County Records out of Floyd, Virginia. Been there about 50 years. They've got a store there, the retail store, and they have a web presence. And they are actually reissuing albums from their catalog slowly but surely. They've done the 2 Tony Rice albums that they had, and now this album. So I'm looking forward to more things to come from them. Unlike all the other, or most of the other roots-oriented independent labels that came along in the 1960s and 70s, they were not bought out by a big corporation, and they continued to function as County Records for a long time. I'll probably do a video about County Records specifically later on. But right now, we'll just talk about this album. So excited it came out. So glad to hear it. So if you're not familiar with Kenny Baker, he is one of the preeminent, or was one of the preeminent fiddlers in bluegrass music. He is the longest, he played with Bill Monroe longer than any other fiddler, thus probably had as much or more influence on other fiddlers as anyone else you could name in that genre. He didn't play with him consecutively. He'd play for a while, go his separate ways from Bill. They had kind of a love-hate relationship, and then come back and play with Bill's band for a while again. But when you add up all the stints he had in the Bluegrass Boys, more than any other artist. Excellent album, all instrumentals. If you like fiddle, you will love this album. It's black vinyl, simple black vinyl, and there you can see County sales. And there are about 15 numbers on here. When I got the record, I pre-ordered it from County. When I got it, flat, no issues. I cleaned all my records. I cleaned it, but it really didn't appear to need a cleaning. And but I did it anyway. But just put it on and have thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably played it 4 or 5 times since I got it a while back, and thoroughly enjoy it. It comes with a few little extras. There's a 1976 liner notes on the back here, and the sleeve. Of course, I put it in a plastic sleeve, took it out of this, but the nice 2023 liner notes here. A little bit photograph here. And here's the little extra that I was really so pleased to get. A couple of photographs there of the man in action. The album starts out with Frida. So let's listen to Frida right now. Kenny was a longbow player. He didn't play the short notes. He played using the long bow style, which he got from listening to Western Swing, Bob Wills, and Texas Playboys, and things like that. He got some of his technique from there. He was in the U.S. Navy, I believe it was, when he was in the service. He had grown up with music in his family. Everybody played instruments. He had primarily played a guitar up to then, but his father, I think his father and grandfather both were fiddlers. There were fiddlers around the house, so you got to figure he picked them up and messed with them to some degree growing up. But as a in his late teens, I guess, 18, 19 years old, World War II, and he's stationed overseas. He picks up, he hears somebody playing, hears a song on the radio of Fiddler, and he loves it so much. He goes in search of, he's somewhere in the Pacific, I believe, in search of a fiddle, and finally found an old fiddle, got it fixed up, and started practicing from there on, and it became his primary instrument from that point on. And as I said, he is one of the greats in fiddle playing in the bluegrass style. Incorporates a lot of different genres into his play, and so that I think that's part of what makes it famous. Gives us opportunities for fiddlers to see a more variety in what they play, and so they're not stuck in a rigid compartmentalized style of play in bluegrass, partly because of Kenny Baker and his love for all types of music and how he incorporated it into the Bluegrass Boys sound. So we heard the first song on side one, and before we listen to something from side two to close us out, the musicians on this album, of course, Kenny Baker's playing the fiddle, Jack Hicks on the banjo, Joe Stewart on the guitar, Buck White from the White family is on the mandolin, and Monroe Fields is playing the bass. From the mid 1970s, Kenny Baker, and here's something to take us out from side two, White Horse Breakdown. Okay, folks, glad you came by. If you're still with me at this point, I'll just remind everybody, please be kind to your neighbors because, folks, we are all neighbors.